In the game of numbers, cross-carpeting becomes a recurring decimal, decimating the concepts of ideology or affinity. Many might ask, to what end? The election management body has given assurances of even further optimizing its performance in the general elections next year. What are the hurdles to the actualization of this quest? Also on Political Update today, political parties canvass for support for their presidential candidates. These and more in a moment. I'm Fisayo Ogunfuyi. Welcome. Monday to thank Nigeria's President Buhari and the nation, expressing the belief that West African countries remain united and strong.
For his unprecedented support to this political instability in some West African countries. He also lauded all ECOWAS leaders as well as Nigerian ministers who made his tour of duty a successful one. President Muhammadu Buhari noted that despite the challenges of insecurity and political tension in some countries, the ECOWAS president and his team showed capacity and patience in dealing with all the issues. Jean-Claude Cassibru, he said, demonstrated great commitment to the unity of ECOWAS and of the sub-region, describing his tenure as very successful. President Buhari hoped that Bro's successor would study what made him succeed for the good of the sub-regional body. Jean-Claude Cassibru, an Ivorian politician and economist, March 2018. He is succeeded by Dr. Umar Aliyu of the Gambia.
Now to politics and the 2023 general elections. Members of the All Progressives Congress say the Tinubu-Shettima ticket is a dream team that will deliver good governance, development and rapid progress to the nation.
And given their pedigree, given their antecedents, given their competencies, I think this party can be said to be lucky to have had such great men for this great exercise.
Due regard should not be given to the issue of religion, ethnicity, regionalism, and what have you. Rather, we should focus our minds on competence and ability to deliver dividends of democracy to the doorsteps of the people.
So, to me, some people might not be happy with this ticket, but I'm very happy. God brought us together for this country, despite our differences, so that Nigeria will become a great place. All we need now is to focus on delivering Asuwaju.
The APC has gotten it right, and it's a ticket that will, continue to project Nigeria.
It's a collaborative, collective thought which came into action platform for the massive mobilization of voters towards voting the right president.
Somebody like Asuwaju that has not Islamized his own family, how will he Islamize Nigeria?
It's for us to suggest to the party to ensure that very strategic positions in the campaign are given to women.
Asuwaju Ahmed Tinubu.
One thing about Tinubu is discovering talents, discovering leaders. You can say the same thing about Shettima.
Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party says it is closing ranks to ensure the mustering of a formidable team to ensure victory in the 2023 elections.
This meeting of members of the Board of Trustees and caucus of the PDP National Mandate Group is the first after its formal inauguration. Rooting out godfatherism from the nation's politics in 2023 and preparing the youth for leadership as well as promoting good governance dominate the meeting's agenda.
Promoting good governance means we shall establish national discourse, dialogue, seminars, workshops to find out from Nigeria what you really want.
The People's Democratic Party coalition of Northern Youth similarly believes that the survival of the party depends on winning the 2023 presidential election.
We will not rely in its passion for good governance, led in fairness and equity. We are dedicated, we are determined, and deliberate in our quest of ensuring good governance from May 2023.
The need for the PDP to shun all forms of divisive tendencies was also advocated.
As we saw in those reports, it is getting to the business end of the tenure cycles and the vote is more than a note at this point. The battle for relevance, acceptance, and the people's endorsement becomes more telling. The election umpire, the parties, that is the political parties, and the candidates get in a conference call of plans and ambition. So what gives? Today we are joined by Senator Arishe. He is a statesman and a politician. Thank you and welcome to Political Update.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, let's start like this. You can see the stakes are high. Every party is trying to woo the people and all that. The umpire is just in the corner watching everybody. But in the last two games, talking about Ikiti, which is your state, and Osun State, Beavers came. Beavers was fast. But at the same time, the politicians wriggled around it, and out of the perimeter there was vote buying. How does the election management body try to at least discourage this? What can we do as an experienced politician? What do we do to discourage this?
Well, thank you very much for that question. INEC has been improving in the last 15 years. When a challenge is faced, they find a way of resolving it. Initially, we had challenges of people snatching ballot boxes. Now, that is no longer feasible because you have to validate it before you actually cast a vote. And the latest challenge is vote buying. That is not beyond what INEC can resolve. By going into electronic voting, there will be no room for anybody to leave the box and show vote buying or not, because they don't buy the votes prior to the voting. So somebody must be able to identify that, and it's not rocket science played. And that now becomes people to actually vote their conscience, because at this point, it's now what we call black market. Nobody can guarantee that, okay, even if you're waiting to give somebody money, the vote has already been cast. Front. You see, you cannot secure and ensure that who says is voting is the actual person that is voting when you use your telephone. Now we have the national identity number going out, and we believe when it's even tied to the voter's card, it will be very difficult.
Seamless verification.
Yes, it will be a seamless situation, and of course this will enable our people in the diaspora, once they have the name numbers, to vote as well. So I believe we are very close. It's one step at a time.
I need to come back to you. Your state introduced us to see and buy years ago, and it seems as if we have not departed from that path. Let's look at it this way. 2020 is around the corner. It seems as if some politicians, not all, are stocking up again to do this. But how do we de-incentivize, even from the position of the political elite, to make sure that it's criminalized, but it's fully enforced and discouraged? Because like you said, it's a transaction, and to quote you, it's a black market, and that as it is, even black market is costlier than the official one. So what do we do in this process, in this milieu?
Well, let me first of all correct that impression that it was introduced by Ekiti. No, I don't think so. It's a practice that people do not want to accept that is going on, but it's very clear now that there are attempts for people where you can no longer rig. They find it easier rather than be carrying, and of course, Ekiti could not have been at the forefront of that. We are known to be very straightforward people and very intelligent people. So I think that is the projection that I wanted to project about Ekiti.
Yes,
we could not have been the source of
it's some kind of so that we don't stay on that one for a while. But let's look at another thing. The present danger is insecurity, and different areas at that. Are you worried? That some people might be disenfranchised because of some of the developments that we've seen in recent times.
Well, I believe government has to sit up. The situation is getting very, very scary. I mean, the last few days, commentaries from friends, from associates and everywhere, particularly on the issue of shutting down a government school, because there is possibility of whether it's Boko Haram or the bandits, sending threat messages all over. If we don't feel safe, then election becomes a big problem. So I think, of course, in the last dispensation, we were promised that there will be voting in Borno. When we were able to vote, Nigerians will vote. I believe that this government will sit up on security and take it very seriously, because it's knocking on our doors there. And that is what, I don't know, we might not have sufficient resources to tackle somebody's that needs to be tackled sufficiently for people to feel very comfortable when they start casting their votes in the next election.
Ngono is from Borno and has first-hand knowledge of elections in challenging times. He offers a few tips. He also gave kudos to the Ninth Assembly for what he termed game-changing electoral act to protect the sanctity of the vote.
Well, the Boko Haram insurgency that the election management body succeeded in conducting elections in Borno and other northeastern states that were. What the election management body did was, because of the insurgency, there is massive displacement of communities. Again, what the election management agency did was to deploy massive security to secure areas where these votings, where these elections are taking place. Governance is a continuum, and as such, there should be no vacuum in governance. Otherwise, it's an invitation to chaos and anarchy. As a result of that realization, the National Assembly, and indeed the Ninth House of Representatives, is on its thoughts discharging its constitutional responsibility, whether elections are fast approaching or not. But the beauty of the 2023 election is that there's enough time between emergence of candidates that usually leads to politicking and the general election itself. So it is not that cramped up to make people run helter-skelter all over the place and then forgetting about their primary responsibility of delivering good governance, peace and security to Nigerians that gave us the mandate to represent them.
Honorable Taiwo Mungono there from Borno State. Just like you said, he was just talking about, voting in challenging times. Now, your party is on the ballot. So many, at the beginning of the program, we saw people endorsing these Mushetima ticket as well, and a lot of question marks as well. What's the mood in camp? Do you think you will be able to scale the hurdles just like our own Tobilola Musa was able to do?
Thank you very much. Join Nigerians to congratulate Musa. In terms of the Muslim ticket, I think the principal, that is our candidate for president, you would have to give it to him that it's a brilliant man, and they would have looked at all the pros and the cons. I believe he was confronted with a choice between the rock and a very hard place. He had to take a decision, and either way it goes, the best decision for winning, the winning strategy. Don't forget, we have 3 major parties now, so to say.
Some will say 4.
Well, I will say the third party that is threatening the status quo is Peter Obi's party. And in thinking about selecting a vice president, you have to look at, what are we looking at? It's a game of numbers. Who is likely to make you win? would the Yorubas, the Southwest, not vote for Tinubu because he's a Muslim? I don't think that happens. We are so liberal. My own grandfather was a Muslim, so my mother married a Christian, and I'm here and I'm a Christian. But it doesn't count. Nobody takes religion that seriously. It's a very personal thing, and I think because of that, he would have looked at the situation. How do I get votes from the north? It is not that there are no good Christians. There are superb, excellent Christians. We will have them in government. But it's a question of when you go to the ballot, how will this region of this country, how would they like to vote? So it's not about just basis. What is the antecedent? No, I don't think he will be towing such a line.
All right.
The meeting, which had in attendance major stakeholders and the contestants of various positions under the People's Democratic Party (PDP), was presided over by the deputy governorship candidate Chief Paulinus Ibumago. The convergence, according to them, became imperative, nullified the primary election that produced Senator Obinna Oba as the candidate and upheld that of Dr. Ifeanyi Chukwumaudi as the authentic candidate for PDP in the 2023 governorship election, with the appellate court ordering for a retrial of a case earlier filed by the same Senator Oba.
Court, in his wisdom, based on the law, on the constitutional provisions, directed that the matter be retried.
The Director, Media and Publicity and Issues Grassroots Organization, Chief Abionyike, speaks further on the implications of the judgment by the Federal High Court in Abakaliki and the Abuja Appellate Court order.
The court in its wisdom has ruled that the businesses they did on the 4th and the 5th of June were not done in line with the law.
By this new development of the Federal High Court to parade himself as a candidate of the PDP in Ebonyi State. Logically, therefore, Dr. Ifeanyi Chukwumaudi remains the only legally recognized torchbearer.
They called on their supporters to remain calm, assuring that PDP and all its candidates are already on the path to victory in the 2023 general election.
On that particular development, we say watch the space, and we'll also bring in other factions as well to know exactly where the status is out there in Ebonyi State. I want to thank Senator Arishi. I would have wanted to give you a question, but that would be subsequently. It seems as if politicians now keep our money aside for elections and then for court. But let's I will bring that at another time, on the program. We'll come back again on Friday for Political Update. You know where to watch. It's Nigeria's finest, Africa's best, NTA, where we'll give you the very best of political news, reviews, previews, and interviews. Stay with us for the rest of your day for the very best of actions. And of course, don't forget, it is the political season. We always want an advice. Play your politics for the greater good. Bye-bye now.
Job? Perhaps you already have one but desire to earn extra. You are not alone. Do you know that answer may well just be at your footstep? We all have one form of recreational activity or the other. Do you know that those activities can indeed pay your big bills? Let me show you how on Wednesday, the 27th of July, 2022. The platform is Conversations on NTA. Time, 9 a.m. Join us.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Youth empowerment is the focus at this pivotal time in our nation's history. On our program, we continue to contribute to this endeavor. Welcome to your weekly survey of style and culture. I am Onyeka Chioba, and this is Today's Style. Damilola Rotimioje is taking over Beauty Spot. The brains behind Ewaremi Beauty House answered some of our burning questions to let us know how she's shaping beauty trends one perfect brushstroke at a time. Damilola Rotimioje is an exceptional makeup artist. She runs Ewaremi Beauty House, a makeup studio and training academy based in Osun State. Whether it's a minimal look or a full beat, Rotimioje is always working hard to create.
My school, Adipoto Comprehensive College, here in Ife. And I could remember back then, I used to buy this two-way lip gloss. This one that used to have lip gloss with shimmer in it and lipstick. So I used to go to school with it back then. Then my math teacher would be like, yeah, the child prefect, you're not supposed to be wearing makeup to the assembly ground and all of that. So fast forward to when I got admission into the University of Ilorin to study performing arts, I developed more interest in makeup when I got to school. My 499 project, my final project, and I was just in 100 level, 2014. After I graduated from University of Ilorin, I was about going for my NYSC. So I trained at my birthplace. Her name is Omorewa. She's in Ife. So I started my training in August. Then I got my first bridal job in December.
She proved to be a quick study. After completing a year of training, the rising star opened her own studio in 2017, and it has been a steady journey of progress since then. She has trained over 100 students to date and continues to bring a fierce finish to every face.
Every entrepreneur has to be patient. Your work as an entrepreneur will actually teach you how to be patient. Even if you are not patient before, you have to learn how to be patient. You have to learn customer relation. But as a makeup artist, you should be able to think outside the box. I mean, you have to be very creative. Like, you meet a lot of people every day, different shape of face, different skin tone, uneven skin, and all of that. So you should be able to work on them. At the same time, you should be creative to the level that when your clients see your work, they'll be like, this work is too beautiful. Where did this makeup artist come from? Do you understand? How did she do it? Like, they will be asking you questions. They'll be asking themselves that question. How did she do this? You have to be creative enough as a makeup artist. This is very, very important. One very important quality is creativity. You have to be creative in everything you do. Like, you don't have to be doing the same thing over and over again. Even if you are doing the same thing, add spice to it. Lip gloss, lipstick application. I love it. Even my students, my clients, they know that I love lipstick a lot. It's actually my best part. What we use our lipstick to do is pronounce the lip. We also use it to reduce the size of the lip. When the lip is too big, there are ways of reducing it. There are colors you use for people who have big lip and colors you use for people who have small lip. There's a way they sculpture the lip now. You want to make the lip look like dull lip, like look yummy, look beautiful. All the nude makeup I've done so far, they are so wonderful, such that when I open my phone, I look at the picture again, I'll be like, I just don't want to stop looking at the pictures because they are just too beautiful. I love nude makeup. I love nude lip most especially. I love nude lip a lot, and I really know how to do my nude makeup very well. I love Bobrisky's makeup. Bobrisky's makeup is always on point. Like, I love it. I love Kiki's makeup, and makeup is always on fleek. Then there's this woman, this fashionista. Her name is Mumi Mae. Oh my God. I think I love her because of the nude makeup she does all the time. She wears nude makeup every time. And most times, she's always on nude makeup. And it brings out her beauty. So I love her makeup. Those three people, I love their makeup. Their makeup is always on fleek. Blending in makeup is very important. It is very, very important. You're supposed to contour the nose and blend it out. Whatever you do, makeup is blending. You're doing eyebrow, is blending. You're doing eyeshadow, you have to blend it. You're doing your lip, you have to blend it. Because we don't want to see any harsh lines. You're doing a full lip for somebody who has a very big upper lip. No, it's wrong. You cannot use one shade on someone whose lip is very big. You have to blend in two colors. Use a deeper color, then use a lighter shade in between. Then you blend it out. I told you I graduated from University of Ilorin, performing art precisely. So I'm a thespian. So if I am not a makeup artist, I would have been an actor or a barber. I must say, I just love it when I see beautiful haircuts. And I always think that someday I am going to learn it. And because I have a dream of having a unisex salon, I want to expand my brand. Like, I want to have a fashion empire. I'm working every day. I am learning every day. I do upgrade every time.
After several years in the business, Rotimi J can attest to this. The beauty industry changes rapidly, and constant learning is required to stay ahead of the curve.
When I learned makeup, I learned as far back as 2014. And what they are doing back then is not what they are doing now. When I learned then, I could remember, I think the makeup process used to be foundation first, your eyebrow, you highlight your eyebrow, then your eyeshadow, and your lip. Then you will now have to reapply foundation because you might have smeared the old makeup with your old finger while applying your eyeshadow and eyeliner. Many people go with skin work before eyebrow, then their eyeshadow, then their lip comes last.
Over the years, Rotimi J has developed her signature touch. While her business has expanded, successfully changing with the times, at the end of the day, she considers the satisfaction of her clients to be the ultimate reward.
I get a whole lot of messages from my clients telling me that, oh, Ewaremi, you have done well. Oh, I love my makeup. Oh, my makeup stayed all day. Oh, you're so good at what you do. And all of that didn't just start in a day. Consistency is the key. As a makeup artist or any other profession, I think there's one thing that we should know. We have to be consistent. We have to update our clients at all times. You cannot be a makeup artist or a baker and say you will not work. Whether you have clients to work on or whether you have a client to give you a job or not, you just have to do something so that you get better. Because once you keep practicing, you will definitely get better. So consistency is the key for me. So how I'm advising all upcoming makeup artists, learn to work harder, like every day. Like you have to work every day to get better.
The trends of the beauty industry are always changing, and if you're not paying attention, your makeup will look outdated, and really, who wants that? Just as fashion trends come and go, makeup fads are constantly evolving. And over the past 10 years, society has changed its notion of what the ideal face of makeup looks like. Let's compare beauty and makeup trends from 2010 to what's popular now. 10 years ago, makeup trends favored a lot of heavy layering and matte looks, a sharp contrast to present day. Now, makeup is lighter, cleaner, with a less is more aesthetic and a heavier focus on skincare. Back then, the brow trend was bold, dark, and long, often using a brow pencil and concealer. The trend was a recovery response from the over-tweezed brows of the 90s, but it was easy to find your brows overcompensating. Now, brows are less blocky and more natural looking. You can achieve a natural brush stroke with the use of brow powders, pomades, and gels. Eye makeup then relied heavily on concealer to prime and deep, dark, matte eyeshadow, thick, feathery, dramatic lashes, and everyone was obsessed with liquid black liner. Now, it's about achieving a seamless look in natural skin tones with wispier lashes. The 2010 face was all about heavy layering, color correcting, full coverage matte foundation, concealer, cream contour, super bold highlights, blush, and tons of powder. Today, the dewy look is in. Less concealer, sheer coverage for a warm, fresh skin look. Back then, no lip was finished without a lip liner. It was considered absolutely essential, accompanied by a bold matte color. The lip of 2020 is more partial to subtle, neutral gloss. Today, the ideal face of makeup is largely affected by beauty vloggers on social media, and you can keep up with these trends by following key players of the beauty space on Instagram and YouTube. The most popular modern beauty looks typically consist of perfectly constructed eyebrows and a minimal look on the rest of your face. However, these trends are constantly shifting, but in the meantime, ease up on the heavy-handed look and stay on trend. And now it's time for some TSG.
Working professionals usually have different dress codes based on their work environment. If your job requires a full-on corporate wardrobe, then you need not only dress the part you play, but also dress for the role you aspire to. Oftentimes, people navigating job interviews, business meetings, or working towards a big promotion might find it tricky to put together outfits that will command respect and authority. This style guide will show you how to dress like a boss.
When it comes to what to wear, a total boss goes for simple and elegant looks. She has mastered her personal style, color palette, body type, and outfits that make her comfortable and confident. When pairing tops and bottoms, work with similar tones of outfits based on a color palette and mood. Your signature look should exude elegance, sophistication, and power.
Gone are the days men were expected to throw on anything without making any effort so they don't seem too into their looks. Before now, being stylish or seen as one wasn't a thing for most men, but in recent times, it's been such a delight to see.
One must-have outfit of a boss is a power suit, known to speak in volumes of confidence and sophistication. Hence, if you find yourself going for that investor meeting or job interview, or you recently attained a senior position at the office, this should be your first ensemble. Commonly rocked suits by bosses feature long-line blazers, long hemlined pants, smart midi skirts that are subtle but still interesting.
The power suit plays with color and texture. Grey, black, white, and other dark dull shades are not necessarily just men's colors anymore. These days, men boast style moves in red, emerald, purple, and more solid colors. It's not unusual to see a man in a colored suit anymore, and the bolder and stylish, the better. He takes on textured fabrics, he wears his suits with bold stripes. He is not afraid to explore velvet lapels on his suits or go all the way with a three-piece suit crafted to perfection.
Your finishing touches should show good taste, quality, and poise. When it comes to accessorizing, reserve the statement pieces for your handbags and shoes, but keep your jewelry and makeup minimal. With regards to shoes, classic pointed toe shoes or alternatively, pointed slingback heels come highly recommended, and comfort is non-negotiable.
Gone are the days of dull pocket squares or bland matchy ties. The modern man wears his pocket squares in colors and prints, wears ties in paisley, his socks are colored, his cufflinks are bolder. For his watch and shoes, classic with emphasis on quality is the right idea.
For everyone, confidence is the greatest accessory of all. Therefore, if you find yourself in a position to look like you own it, in order to give that powerful, lasting impression, you have to dress the part, and most importantly, exude confidence.
Mid-October every year marks an important Nigerian festival you might have heard of. Celebration holds to celebrate the life and the legacy of the iconic Fela Kuti. Now, you might know him for his music and his activism, but today we'll be examining his role as a radical fashion icon.
Fela Kuti was one of the most radical musicians the world has ever seen, and the Nigerian musical legend used his revolutionary fashion sense as a form of protest. His clothing choices were not just an expression of taste and bravado, but also a conspicuous effort to reject Western ideals.
Fela stood for a lot of things, and one of what he stood for was non-conformity to rules. But he wasn't a recalcitrant element, to use that word. What he did basically was challenging the authorities on things he felt were not right. So he really stood against injustice, and he felt that his fashion statement was a call to say, okay, this is injustice and I'm speaking against it. So that was how Fela started himself to say, you know what, I can be on stage and perform without a shirt. I can be on stage and perform with just pants. I can be on stage and decide to white chalk my whole face. So yeah, so what he did basically when he was singing Zombie, he painted his whole body white and to portray the message which he was passing. And now we see artists who are coming up with face painting, body painting. So you see that in a way everybody's borrowing a leaf from his style to carve out messages that they to their party. So in his own right, just as he did activism with music, he also did activism with fashion.
For Fela, wearing what was considered non-Western clothes was a matter of pride and authenticity. For him, true Africanness meant refusing to subject himself to the ways of others or compromise himself for the sake of conformity and assimilation. Achieving full liberation meant rejecting the custom and rules of the oppressor all the way down to the oppressor's clothing.
Was the fashion icon in his full right. The palazzo pants, the off-button tops, with the, I would call it collar types of collars, the heavy collars. His fashion sense was the style of the normal. He was a fashion icon in the right that his fashion sense wasn't what was in tune with the times. Basically, he was picking up fashion that was left off over a long period of time and picking it to style this kind of music. So his
fashion sense was in line with his music. So he was using his fashion to pass the message along with what he said.
Fela's sartorial choices were a mirror of his political views, equally forthright and expressive, and a reminder that fashion can be a form of politics. He often appeared shapeless, with large beads adorning his neck, or in Ankara jumpsuits and matching top and bottoms. Fela's rebellious fashion sense extended to the people around him as well. The stylistic prowess of the Fela Kuti queens cannot and should not be overlooked, with their beaded braids, head wraps, and elaborate ceremonial placement. These women effortlessly defied Eurocentric beauty standards.
One thing about fashion is transient. It doesn't just stick to a particular time. Just as they say, life in itself is dynamic, it changes. But when it comes to fashion, what happens is, as it moves within stages, centuries and decades, this fashion evolves. So you can see a style that has been existent, let's say in the 1980s, resurfacing in the 2000s. Recently, because of the advent of Big Brother, bandanas came back into fashion, durags came back into fashion. It's not like they were not in fashion before, but they were not as widely used as at then. So same with fashion. Once an icon picks up a fashion style, before you know, people start buying into that idea, mostly if it suits that person. So if you are talking about the Nigerian fashion industry and looking at how people can band together to make a fashion statement, or like to push the whole essence of fashion in a particular light, it's totally achievable, it's doable, it's already happening.
Fela's wardrobe was a form of resistance all on its own. The next time you see a picture of Fela, pay attention to his clothing and be inspired. Proud blackness and peerless audacity.
Photographer Brandon Hicks specializes in conceptual fashion and beauty editorial, and Whitney Baziers and textures. Trends by Coco's Anita dress is a hot commodity of the moment. The label's satin look was modeled recently by Sharon Oja and Diane Russett at a movie premiere. And can we just say they were everything? Now, it's just a matter of deciding who looks best in the vibrant ensembles. The Big Brother Niger star added matching gold strappy heels, while the Nollywood starlet opted to keep it elegant in black heels. Who did the outfit justice? We'll let you be the judge of that.
Thanks for catching up with us today. You can head over to our social media to join the conversation with your comments and feedback. We'll be back on Monday with another exciting episode. Be sure to tune in, same time, next week.
Join us every Monday for an in-depth look at global style and culture on Africa's largest television network.
NTA Tuesday Live, analytical, in-depth, educative and interactive on national issues, accommodating all sides of opinions.
We as a people have understood that we have to fight corruption before it fights us back.
Poverty has a financial index, so it should be fought also with a financial weapon. Give it to the social investments program. It has been a very courageous battle.
Tuesday Live, every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. Join us.
Stress is a normal physical response to an event that makes your nervous system feel threatened at the perception of danger, whether real or imagined. Giving your body automatic mobilization process known as the fight, flight, or freeze response. This automobilization response, or stress, is designed to protect your body. When it is working well, it helps you stay focused, energetic, and alert. In an emergency, it spurs you into action to defend yourself. Stress, however, becomes worrisome when it is overwhelming. It can damage your health, your mood, your productivity, relationship, and even your quality of life. Stress is chiefly induced by environmental conditions or stimulus and emotional instability. Work-related stress is the second most commonly reported condition in the self-reported work-related illness. According to research results between 2011 and 2012, an estimated 428,000 workers suffered from work stress. Stress affects different people in different ways, but generally, the chemicals that are released by the body as a result of stress can build up over time and cause various mental and physical symptoms. These include irritability, anger, depression, anxiety, food cravings, lack of appetite, headaches, sleep difficulty, and the list is endless. How one handles one's stress depends on your stress hormone level.
Harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users, be a good social media user. Use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
Archbishop of basketball, go! He hung on that net like a stalk up a tree. NTA Sports 24 brings you all sports, 7 sport.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Research is an integral part and core to development. Medical research is even more pertinent since it drives the economy. My graduate of Medical Research Foundation, NIMA Foundation. The foundation, realizing the role that medical research plays